when you believe in God, naturally you want to bow before Him. So this is ibadah, this is worship. So ibadah or worship is an external expression of the inner content of Islam. This is ibadah. Then let us take akhlaq and maamulat, that is morality and dealing. Both are related to other people, to mankind. So when the inner spirit of Islam translates into social relationship, that is akhlaq and maamulat. In other words, I can say that akhlaq and maamulat is only the other name of duty culture. When a believer lives in a society among people and he thinks of his responsibility, that inculcate in him the concept of duty. So believer is a duty conscious person. The other system are based on right. All the other systems makes people right conscious people. So right conscious thinking is based on exploitation. So if you are a believer, you will be a duty conscious person. Otherwise, you will be a right conscious person, that is exploitation. So this is the difference between the two kinds of ideology. It is a very important part. Akhlaq or ethics is a very important part of Islamic life. About the Prophet of Islam, Quran says, "Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim." Your character is a sublime character. There is a statement of Quran about the Prophet. Your character is a sublime character. Then there are a number of ethical teachings in Islam, in Hadith literature. For example, Prophet of Islam has said, "Al-birru husnul khulq." Al-birru husnul khulq. It means that good conduct is most important virtue. Al-birru husnul khulq. Good conduct, good behavior, or good akhlaq is the most important part of virtue. Virtuous character means good moral character. This is a hadith. Al-birru husnul khuluq. Then there is a hadith, Akbalul mu'minina imanan ahsanuhum khulqan. Best believer is one whose character is best. Akbalul mu'minina imanan ahsanuhum khulqan. Best believer is one whose ethical character, whose moral conduct is good. after reading Hadith literature, I found that there are two different levels of akhlaq or moral behaviors. Akhlaq means moral behavior. Minimum and maximum. Minimum ethics and maximum ethics. I will give you two references. There is a hadith, the Prophet of Islam has said, Wallahi la yuminu, Wallahi la yuminu, Wallahi la yuminu, Allazi la yamanu jaruhu bawa'iqahu. It means that he is not a believer. He is not a believer. He is not a believer. Prophet said 3 times. Prophet repeated it 3 times. He is not a believer. He is not a believer. He is not a believer. Who creates problems for his neighbors? Allazi la yamanu jaruhu bawa'iqahu. He is not a true believer who creates problems for his neighbors. I think it is the minimum criterion, the minimum level of ethics. So the minimum ethics is that you refrain yourself from creating problem for others. In other words, you can say that a true believer is a no problem person of a society. You have to live among people as a no problem member of the society, no problem neighbor. So this is the minimum criterion of Islam. At least you have to adopt a no problem culture. At least everyone lives in a family, everyone lives in a society, everyone lives in a community. So he must live as a no problem person in your family, in your society, in your community, in your nation. You have to live as a no problem person. It is not very easy because every time there are provocations, every time there are some excuses for negative behavior. People are engaged in negative behavior and then they present some excuses. So living as a no problem person is not very easy. You have to ignore the problems. You have to be patient. You have to adopt the habit not to provoke, even in provocative situation. Otherwise, you will become a problem in your society. So, living as a no problem person is not very easy. It requires patience. It requires forgiveness. It requires tolerance. It requires cautious mind. It requires sympathy to others. It requires love to others.